So in this video, I'm going to be answering a very frequently asked question, and that question is, Nathan, what is hypnosis? What is hypnotherapy? Is it mind control? I will strive to expel or dispel any mystery around the subject of hypnosis and hypnotherapy, but also help you know if it is something that can benefit you in your life and in what situations it can. With the explanation I'm going to give, you're going to also have a more expanded understanding of how the mind works and how it even is necessary or would be necessary for someone to need something like hypnosis or hypnotherapy. Now, I'll begin this explanation by quoting Mark Twain when he said, "If a cat sits on a hot stove, that cat won't sit on a hot stove again. That cat won't sit on a cold stove either. In fact, the cat just doesn't like stoves." That makes absolute sense, because now the cat is scared of stoves, hot or cold. You see, the cat now has a fixed idea in its mind around stoves. And even logic, well, cats don't have logic and reason, but you're just not going to try to get that cat to go towards a stove. You can put a piece of meat on that stove, and now the cat's going to be like, yeah, I want that meat or I want that fish, but stove, no. Okay? So using that idea, now let's pretend it's not a cat anymore. Let's pretend it is a person. Let's call this person Jake, okay? When Jake was a child, he got burned by a stove. And I want to show you graphically what is happening or what happens in his case. So this is Jake, okay? This is Jake's mind, this is Jake's body. And in the mind of any individual, the mind is separated into two distinct fields of operation. You've got the conscious mind, you've got the subconscious mind. This is the mind that thinks, this is the mind that feels, and of course the body follows whatever the mind does, okay? So in Jake's conscious mind, he wants to learn how to cook, or perhaps Jake wants to go to culinary school or loves entertaining or whatever. But in his subconscious mind, Jake hates stoves. You see, Jake has a fixed idea in his mind, a fixed idea in his conscious mind, a fixed idea in his subconscious. Jake may even have this fear of stove or this phobia of stoves, but not even know or remember where it came from, because that thing happened when he was 3 years old. He got burned by a stove when he was 3, so he doesn't really recall. He just knows that every time he tries to use a stove, he doesn't really feel good about it. In fact, he's sweating and all sorts of stuff, so he just abandoned the idea of cooking entirely. Okay? So you see, this is to start with what we call dissonance. There is a different idea consciously, what he wants to do, what he's thinking of doing, and what subconsciously he holds. This subconscious ideation is what controls the body. Why does it do that? It does that because research has shown us that the subconscious mind is at least 88% of an individual's mind, while the conscious mind is at best 12%, okay? So no matter how much the individual wants to do something, well, see, this is where most of the vote lies in the mind, is the subconscious concept, the fixed idea that is held in the mind, is what's going to control the body. So the body says, hey, Jake, what should we do? It says, okay, well, let's think about it. Let's figure it out. The mind says, oh, hey, yep, stoves are bad. Don't do it. Elevators are bad. Don't do it. You know? Public speaking is bad. Nope, don't you dare step on that stage. And as soon as the individual starts to step on the stage, they start sweating. The reason why that is, in any individual, this could be stoves, it could be drinking, it could be smoking, it could be public speaking. The reason why that is that there is an opposing idea in the subconscious mind that is about to be violated, and it will usually cause anxiety. So the individual, as soon as it's time to speak, starts freaking out, right? Because it's like stepping on the gas and the brake at the same time. Going back to the idea of hypnosis, is this individual now has a fixed idea that they wish to have changed, okay? And over the course of our lives, we have thousands of ideas, fixed ideas, starting from when we were a child, that is littered all in the subconscious mind, right? Of course, the positive concepts are beneficial, the negative concepts are not. And in the life of any individual who wishes to advance, sometimes we want to change some things. We want to change some habits. You know, you have people who say, well, you know, I really want to quit drinking, but gosh, I can't. Every time I get stressed out, I have to drink, right? Every time I get stressed out, I want to do something different, but I always find my way to the bottle. It's a negative concept in the mind. You can think all day, you can pray all day, but you find yourself still doing things that you don't really want to do. So how do we change this? Because the subconscious mind is very resistant to change, right? These things are what we call knowns in the subconscious. The subconscious mind says, I know these things. It may not be good, but I'm familiar with them. It represents safety and security, which is its prime directive for you to keep you alive. And so any new idea, it's not very cool to take on, okay? Coupled with the fact that in the mind of any adult, you have what we call the critical faculty. This is a part of you that keeps things from going to your mind. This is a part of you that says, yeah, but, right? You're pessimistic about things. The individual could say, hey, okay, it's time to speak. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. This is a very friendly audience. In your mind, you're like, yeah, but no. Right? This is a part of you that sweats even when, so the critical faculty is there to be critical about every new thing that is trying to go into your mind. It becomes a protective layer that keeps new ideas, new concepts, new beliefs from going to the mind and changing these things. Okay, this is the bouncer of the club or the warehouse, right? It doesn't want you to get in. So in order to go in and change these concepts, because if you can manage to change anything in the subconscious, the body automatically executes. But changing it is the issue, okay? So what we have to do then is that you have to disable this bouncer, or at least create an opening long enough for your new idea to slip through, and you can go in and you can change a concept or a fixed idea, right? So the process, very simply, the process of hypnosis is a process of disabling this critical factor, at least temporarily. This is distracting that bouncer so you can go in and you can change the concept to something more beneficial. The programming of the past, the traumatic experiences, things that are keeping people from moving forward are able to get changed rather quickly and easily through hypnosis or hypnotherapy, as opposed to talk therapy, for instance, which is one of many therapeutic modalities. Because I can talk to you all day long, but here's the thing, I'm talking to that 12%. The other 88% walks out of the therapist's office and says, I'm not doing it, you know? So in hypnosis, we are basically talking to this 88%. This is where the therapist, obviously who is skilled and who is trained and who has an understanding of human behavior, helps you identify where the issue is, which of these concepts, these fixed ideas causing the problem, and helps to change that. Or may also help identify relationships behind one concept and another. Because I could easily change this to a positive, but if you've got other negative concepts which control the desired behavior, you'll usually still have an issue. Okay, so hypnotherapy, hypno meaning sleep, right, is a therapeutic modality through which the therapist inducing a trance-like state of sleep. You're not really asleep, it almost feels like you're asleep because it's really relaxed and focused state of relaxation, where the therapist is able to communicate directly with your subconscious mind using positive suggestions, right? Or what we call hypnoanalysis. So basically doing analysis of the problem and helping you solve the problem in less time and with less effort than it would take you, A, to try to force yourself to do the thing, right? Or B, to try to talk it out. Because talking only goes so far. So I hope that explanation helps. I want to give you an example. So I've given you an example of drinking, stage fright, or anxiety, for instance. All of those things are things that are really controlled on a subconscious level because nobody chooses to freak out, right? These are things that happen. These are automatic processes and scripts that are able to get changed with the process of hypnosis. So I hope that this video answers your question. Now, I'm going to go into the other part. What about some of the myths I've heard about hypnosis? Mind control, do I lose complete control? And that is not the case. The process of hypnotherapy is very different from what you see with stage hypnotists. Those people are just entertainers. I want to think of them as like the Maury show of hypnosis. They're just entertainers. Now, in a real therapeutic setting, working with a professional, you're always in control, okay? So it's no different from being in a talk therapist chair and being spoken to or being asked questions. At any time the individual wishes to end or stop something, they're able to stop it because the mind's prime directive, again, the mind is always there to protect you. So you can't give someone an instruction to do something that would be harmful to you, and that would be also unethical anyways. So it is the reason why, of course, hypnotherapy is different from just stage hypnosis, which is really entertainment to start with. So you are always in control at all times. The individual is always aware of what's going on around them. It's like you're just sitting there and you're daydreaming about what you're going to have for dinner, or what you're going to do later, or is this really working? Am I really hypnotized? You're having all these crazy thoughts. All you know is that you're really relaxed. You just don't want to move, okay? So that is the general experience that people have in the process of hypnosis. They often come out feeling very relaxed because it is a hyper relaxed state. And what is really happening is that the mind, as opposed to focusing on the outside world, is turning inwardly and focusing within. And then allowing the therapist, who is the operator in this case, to guide you through this process of healing and rapid change. So that would answer that part. And then the question is, what could I use it for? You could use it for anything in the field of what we call vocational, avocational hypnosis, and anything regarding your personal growth, your personal development. You want to quit smoking, you want to quit drinking, you want to be more motivated, you want to be more focused, you want to have better memory. Anything that the mind can do, anything that the mind is responsible or tasked with doing, is a good candidate for hypnosis. Even including some conditions, some medical conditions, of course, that would be in conjunction with your primary care personnel, if there is no real reason why this should be happening. You know, there are some physicians who you go to 5 million doctors and the doctor says, I don't see anything. There's really nothing wrong with you. And sometimes we'll refer the individual to a therapist because some problems are of a psychogenic nature. The mind is creating it, right? And they say whatever the mind can handle, it puts in the body. So sometimes the mind, in fact, most diseases and illnesses are created in the mind and then expressed in the body, because the body is simply a means of expression of the mind. So if there's a negative concept in the mind, guess what? The mind's going to try to express it through the body, right? It's no different from being, have low self-esteem. If this is low self-esteem, I am worthless. Well, guess what? You're going to act in a way that is worthless. If you're angry, it is said that depression is anger turned inwards. If you're angry at something, but you just can't express it, you stuff it in. Well, guess what? It expresses sometimes in the body as what we call a body syndrome. So this can get more complex and complicated, but I want to leave you in this video with understanding this. If there is anything that you think you would love to do differently, a behavior, an expression, anything that you think you would like to express or amplify in your life, being more confident, being a better speaker, being more motivated for your work, those things, anything that you think, I'd like to get better at this, can always be enhanced, can be changed, can be improved using hypnosis, specifically hypnotherapy. So if you've got any questions about this video or any other points that I've made in this video that arises, please feel free to comment wherever you find this video, and I will respond to those questions. I might even make another video about it. If you're also needing a hypnotherapeutic advice or consultation, somewhere down in this video, there's probably a link where you can also get in contact with me and get in touch with me. But I thank you again. No matter what, be the best you can be. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.